Good afternoon, everyone. We are going to make some stuffed pepper soup. So what we got going on is we need 2 pounds of ground beef that we are going to go ahead and brown. So I'm going to get my ground beef in my pot and let's get that browned up. So you want to get this browned up and you want to make sure that you drain your grease, and then after it's done we're going to set the meat aside and we're going to fry up some onion. Y'all, so now it is all browned up. Now I'm going to go ahead and drain all the grease out of here and I'll be right back. Alright y'all, so I had to change pans because my pan wasn't big enough. So I have about 2 tablespoons of olive oil at the bottom of my pan, and I have 1 onion that we're going to saute up. And I got some bell pepper. I got 4 peppers, 2 red and 2 green. And then I have 3 banana peppers that we're putting in here as well. So, the rest of this. And then here is my 2 green peppers, my 2 red pepper, and my 3 banana peppers. We're going to put those in here. And we're going to go ahead and get these softened. So we got the onions pretty much soft. You don't want to wilt your peppers or anything, but we're going to add 4 teaspoons of minced garlic in here, and we're going to go ahead and stir this around, and we're going to let this cook for 1 more minute. Alright, after you put your garlic in there and you got everything coming together, now you're going to need 12 cups of water. So I'm going to start adding my water. Now we got our 12 cups of water in here. Now we're going to go ahead and bring this back up to a simmer. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and add 16 ounces of tomato puree. Okay. We need 38 ounces of tomato sauce. Alright, we need 1 Italian stewed tomatoes. It's with the basil, garlic, and oregano. And this is 14.5 ounces. Put that in there. And just make sure you scrape out the bottoms of your cans. Got to get everything out. Okay. Then we need 2 Italian style diced tomatoes, and these are 14.5 ounces as well. Then here's the second one. Okay, so go ahead and stir this together. Alright, now we're going to add 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, and then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt, and then we're going to add half a teaspoon of pepper. Now we need 2 tablespoons of beef bouillon, and I'm using this. Then we're going to need some Italian seasoning. We're going to use 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon. Okay, and get our teaspoon. Alright, now let's get this stirred together. Alright, now we're going to add 2 teaspoons of parsley. Then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar. then we are going to add a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. Leave this open. And I use the organic. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and let this cook for 10 minutes. Alright y'all, we have about 2 minutes left, and then we're going to add in our rice, and you're going to need 1½ cups of long grain white rice. Okay, so while we're waiting, I want to let everybody know that we have cookbooks that are still available. I'll put a link above and below in the comments for those of you who want to purchase those. So here in a minute, we're going to add the rice, and then we're going to cook this 10 more minutes, and then we're going to add the ground beef, and we're going to simmer it for about 45 minutes until the rice is tender. Y'all, so now we're going to add 1½ cups of the long grain white rice. And you can add more peppers to this if you wanted more peppers. So I just have peppers that I had to use up. But we like the combination of the banana peppers with the regular bell peppers. And I actually have a recipe in the cookbook for this soup. And it also has a recipe in there for the peppers that we can. So it's canned pepper sauce. So if you, in the summertime, if you go ahead and can pepper sauce, you can actually use this in replace of a lot of the tomato products in here, but the pepper soup is in the cookbook. So, and the recipe for the canned peppers is also in the cookbook. So we're going to go ahead and time this for 10 more minutes, and then we're going to add our ground beef back in, and we're going to let this simmer for about 45 minutes. Alright y'all, now we're going to go ahead and add our ground beef back in our soup. Okay, we're going to go ahead and stir this around, and we are going to cook this on a simmer, and you want to make sure that you keep stirring for about 45 minutes until the rice is completely cooked and not hard. So we'll see you back here in about 45 minutes. Alright y'all, it's been 45 minutes, and here's our bell pepper soup. It is so delicious, y'all, and with these cooler afternoons and evenings, I'm telling you, it'll warm up quick. And the good thing about this is that you can freeze it, and it freezes really well. So again, you can add more peppers or whatever you like. So I hope everybody has a great afternoon. And if you have any questions, get in contact with us. Everybody have a blessed evening.